Now the problem arises, what do we do if we're multiplying, say, a binomial by a trinomial? First of all, make sure that you're not using FOIL. Again, you can only use FOIL specifically when you're multiplying two binomials together. But we still want to distribute. We distribute each term of the first polynomial to each term of the second polynomial. Example, number 21. We're multiplying a binomial. A binomial has two terms by a trinomial. A trinomial has three terms. So really, after we distribute, we should have a total of 2 times 3 or 6 terms. After that, we might be able to simplify that 6-term polynomial to less terms if we're able to add like terms. But here's what we do. We distribute the h, you distribute it to every term of the second polynomial. So we distribute it 3 times. H times h squared is h to the third. Then h times negative h is negative h squared. And then h times negative 1 is negative h. So that's distributing h. Now we distribute the positive 1 to each term. 1 times h squared is positive h squared. 1 times negative h is negative h. And then 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms. Now we can add the like terms. There's no other h cubed, so that just stays the same. We're done with that. We have negative h squared plus h squared. So those are going to cancel each other out. Once they cancel each other out, they go away. Then we have negative h minus h, so that's negative 2h. And then lastly, minus 1. That's already in standard form right there. The degree is 3. The leading coefficient is 1. And then since there's 3 terms, it's a trinomial. Okay. All right, here's what I'm going to have you do. Maybe pause the video, try number 22, and we'll go over that after you've tried it. So on number 22, you have 2 terms in the first polynomial, so it's a binomial multiplied by 3 terms. In the second polynomial, a binomial multiplied by a trinomial, kind of like we just did. So you should distribute first the d. D multiplied by d squared, d cubed. D times negative 4d is negative 4d squared. D times 1 is positive d. And then distribute the 3. 3 times d squared is positive 3d squared. 3 times negative 4d is negative 12d. And then 3 times 1 is 3. Then you add the like terms. D cubed, or d to the third power, is the only d to the third. So it just stays the same. Negative 4d squared plus 3d squared. It's negative 1d squared, or just negative d squared. D minus 12d. This is 1d minus 12d, negative 11d. And then lastly, plus 3. So that is what you should end up with after multiplying a binomial by a trinomial.